Okay, yo. How's everybody doing? How we going? How we doing, guys? Can everybody see and hear me?
Time it is. It's about to be that time.
Savage.
Destroyer said, fashionably late, I see. Well, of course, you know, we're rocking the merch out here. Owning the savagery. Owning the savagery. Yeah. Alright, great. So everybody can see and hear. That's awesome. That's awesome. Chrissy and I are back from, shout out to Mike Star WW. Back from our little vacation. It was all a pretense for my buddy to get engaged. So he did that. That happened. That was fun. And, you know, while we were doing that, we also had some beach action. We had the beach episode. Everybody caught that. I know it was probably kind of hard to hear me over the waves, but, you know, I still wanted to do something fun, even if it was simple, to get things out. We talked about a little bit of mythology. Before I get into things, we got, before I started, Marios L joined the channel, so thank you. And it looks like my guy Tier 1 Will, Tyrone Will, showed up again. And thank you. And Ryo super chatted to let us know that Tyrone Will is undefeated. Ryo said congrats to my buddy. Thank you. Ness One Us said, really like my Heat on Feet t-shirt. A certified drip.
Certified drip.
Dan Rogers said beach episode was ace. Love the dive into Shinto mythology. Yeah, well, we can even probably get into a little more of that today after the chapter. You know, when we had the stream for 1024, I felt pretty confident that the act was going to end. When I thought about it a little more and I did the beach episode, I was like, you know, I think we might, you know, maybe we'll dive more into the flashback with 1025. I don't know what we're going to do today. I would love to look at things from Kaido's perspective, finish the flashback. Then I would feel pretty definitive that the act can end. I mean, it still could. It still could. But it's better to just finish the flashback. Either way, let's get into things. DJBJ32 said, my apron came in, now I'm cooking with the heat on feet. My man is a chef, and now he is repping Sanji in his kitchen.
Certified drip.
Yeah. All right. So, let's see. Pulling up the chapter now, guys. Pulling it up. Yeah. People are talking about New Jersey. I was in New Hampshire. I left New York and I went to New Hampshire. It was an area that was meant something to my buddy. That's why you know, he chose it. Found a nice area. I'd never been. Oh, okay. Chapter 1025. Twin Dragons. Oh man, are we about to get the Kaido and Momo interaction here? Are we about to get it? Oh, all right. Let's see. Big Liar story. We got Usopp with a very interesting new Jolly Roger for himself. I like that much more. Shout out to Fejo Farizi for subscribing. Yeah, I actually took a look at the analytics, which is something I don't really do because I don't really pay attention to all of that. But I did read it, and it turns out that 50% of the people that watch these streams, that watch the channel, are not subscribed. 50% are. 50% are not. All right, I'm on the color spread. We've got the last piece of the color spread. This is the last chapter of volume 101, which stitches together to get the, the 3 volumes together. And in that very last one also, we're stitching together this color spread. Oh, man. All right, so we finally have Carrot here. So, Carrot fans are kind of in the mud. No offense, guys, but, Carrot's not next to the Straw Hats. But then again, neither was Yamato, so... so we'll see what happens. But this is probably Oda, because Carrot is kind of, if I remember the first spread, Carrot is kind of in the same vicinity or area that Yamato was, right? Or was Yamato more where Izo is? Either way. Oh, I saw this great image today that the WCF figures that I collect, or whatever, the next couple of volumes are going to be all just recreating the characters on the spread the way that they are on the spread. So most of it was just the second spread with all the Straw Hats out. Oh, guys, it looks great. It looks great. But I caught early glimpses by looking at that of Marco and Izo, and man, this is really cool. We got the goat beard over here. Dig and Ace. Yeah. Moving forward. Lasar. Thank you. They put the spread all together. Look at that. Look at this beautiful work of art. Look at it. It's amazing. I love it. Okay. Come on, fly already, Momo. Here it comes. Never-ending story. Story. All right, OST is going on. Here we go. I shall once my body unfreezes. How high do you think that is? Even raising my head in this form is haunting. Like I care, you wimp. You're grown up now. How are you still scared of heights? Keep your insolent thoughts to yourself. Samurai fear nothing. Right. You're trembling, Momo. Come on. I just love the panel of them all just standing watching this, like... Is he gonna do something? What was the point of getting big? You're a dragon, right? Fly. Yeah, I'm in a hurry. If I let Kaido run wild, everyone's done for. Then... Alright. Next page. Back to the top. The aftermath of the Thunder Bagua. Yamato gonna fall over. Shout out to Eternal Blaze. Kagami Yama. That means Mirror Mountain. I'm sure that's what the translation says. Yeah. And this is interesting, too. I forgot to bring this up when I was doing the beach episode, right? But one of the things, when Amaterasu was lured out of the cave, they used a mythical object called the Yata no Kagami, right? And some may remember, Yu Yu Hakusho fans will remember like the 3 items in like the first arc that Yusuke had to get from Hiei. So that was sort of that's based off the same folklore and everything. But the interesting One Piece connection is actually Kizaru, because Kizaru used an attack called Yata no Kagami. That's what he used to, like, I think it was what he hit Apu with right before he, like, blasted Drake. But this is interesting. So Yamato can break into a mirror, just furthering, like, Oda's really playing with this Amaterasu stuff. Let's go to the next page. Okay. Going on to the defensive. So I'm guessing Yamato can create a mirror clone of themselves that'll shatter, and then they can go somewhere else. I mean, that's what I'm sort of picking up here. I don't know. Himuro Giri. Glacial Slash. All right. They're going in. Next page. The way you defy me, it's like you actually believe you're from Wano. But everyone knows you're my son. You can't escape the truth of your blood. It doesn't matter what you do. The samurai will never consider you one of them. Shut up. What's that got to do with anything? Smack. Next page. You spent your entire life running around this island, crawling through the attics and desperately trying to escape because you are alone. I'm not. And Yamato is not alone. They're not. Now they have the crew. I had friends. Okay. All right. Those are those samurai. Everyone that shows you compassion ends up dead. Interesting. Ace included. Seemingly confirming the Ushimaru stuff, which I am under the belief that Ushimaru is dead. Ooh. So we're getting more glimpses of the flashback here. This is good. This is all good. Hey, why was he executed? Next page. Apparently he was secretly feeding the Oni princess. Is that troublemaking runaway still pretending to be Odin? Man. This Yamato versus Kaido fight is like reaching Katakuri versus Luffy levels of length. Oh, man. This is, I mean, it's Yamato for Nakama fans should be counting this as like a chip in their hat. Their acts of kindness were just lies. The truth is, they were all afraid of you. After all, you could easily use your power to impose your will on others. The offspring of an Oni, confirmation. Relying on the friendship of humans is beneath you. That is your lot in life, Yamato. Alright, so confirmation that Kaido is from the Oni race. We all suspected it, the entire community, but boom. Now we have it. Alright, I'm on the double spread where it seems Momonosuke is finally moving into the air. Alright. Never-ending story. Da, 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 da. Story. Okay, apparently Momonosuke is fast. That's what Luffy's saying here. Okay. If you guys can hear the construction going outside my apartment, I apologize. Oniyashima's dead ahead. I see some shadowy figures on the roof. Yeah. eyes closed or something? Of course. As if I could fly with my eyes open. Alright. Not that way, we have to get to the roof. Skull Dome live floor. Well, I said one of two things was going to happen. Either Yamato was going to get defeated and Luffy was going to get to the roof and Kaido wasn't going to be there. Or Luffy was going to wind up on one of the bottom levels and have to work his way up to Kaido, allowing for the pacing to naturally progress. Alright, so now we're seeing everybody. What the hell, another dragon? No way. But the way that everything's sort of shaping up, it seems like this is sort of a interlude and they're actually going to get up. So, hey. Marco's just smiling at this. Okay. This is great. I'm eating this up. I'm loving this. Knock it off, Momo. What do you think you're doing? Alright, next page. Okay, we're seeing... Getting a little glimpse of Big Mom, Law, Kid. Alright, looks like they are going to get to the top. Cut it out. Open your eyes. There's something stuck in them, yeah. Tears. Fear. Oh, because they're smashing through walls.
Savage.
Shout out to Taylor Hayward. I'll read that once we're done with the chapter. Oh, okay. Now they're on the third floor. How can there be two dragons? This one's a different color. We have to get to the bottom of this. I wonder if CP0 is going to see Momo now. Sounds like things are getting out of hand down there. Must be because of that damn Linlin. The castle will need to be rebuilt after this. Oh. Yamato's back to being Yamato. Next page. I won't let it end like this. You can see Momonosuke in the back. Alright. So, actually, if we get Momonosuke, Luffy, and Yamato, then we are actually going to get what I was talking about in the beach episode, which is the three deities, Amaterasu, Tsukuyomi, and Susanoo. Alright, Divine Step. How are we still going? We need to get to solid ground. There's Kaido. Let's crash land over there. Kaido. Ooh, Snake Man. Okay. I'm going no. Ooh. Ooh. Savage. White Snake Rush. Jet Culverin. Dual Attack. Yamato and Luffy. Okay. Luffy. Yama bro. You were keeping Kaido busy for us. Thanks a bunch. We owe you big time. What a relief. Alright. I have been waiting for this panel for so long. I didn't, you know, I never expected it would be grown-up Momonosuke. But just Momo in his dragon form and Kaido in his dragon form. Oh, this is beautiful. And Luffy just standing atop him like, yeah, what's up? Oh, I'm eating it. I'm eating it. A peach dragon. Could it be? It doesn't matter what you do, I'm not gonna die. I'm the man who will be the king of the pirates. Alright, Momo. There we go. Say it like a man. My name is Kosuke Momonosuke. I'm the man who will be Shogun of Wano. You're the brat? How unexpected. This world doesn't need another dragon. Alright. You know me, guys. I don't really care about being right or wrong. I just want a good story, and I'm getting it. We knew this day was coming. Kaido. Dragon versus dragon. I mean, Kaido's... Momonosuke is going to get washed. This makes sense because I think it needs to be Yamato's idea to have Momonosuke combat the flames underneath Onigashima. Yamato is the one that introduced us to the idea, right? Oda specifically used Yamato to tell us about the flame clouds, but told it to Momonosuke so that Momonosuke could hear about it. So I think another conversation between them will lead to our, like, holding up Onigashima from falling on the capital. That's not going to happen for a couple of chapters, though. So... But, yeah. All of this really lines up with what I was talking about last week in the beach episode. Because the three of the top deities in Japanese mythology, right, that are always... you can't talk about Amaterasu without talking about Tsukuyomi, the moon god. Amaterasu being the sun goddess. So Yamato is obviously Oda's making Yamato the avatar of Amaterasu, the sun goddess. Kosuke means crescent moon. Tsukuyomi is the moon god. So now Momonosuke is representing that. And then there's Susanoo, who is the god of the sea and the god of storms. And we know that the D will always bring another storm. So Luffy, being the avatar for Susanoo, makes sense. Now, all three of those gods have had their tiffs, and weird incestual relationships as well, but we're not going to get into that, and I'm sure Oda isn't either. But this is fun. This is interesting. Emil Diaz saying that Susanoo is the troublemaker of the trio as well, and that's definitely Luffy's role. So yeah, Looking at the color pages now. This is great. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. Alright. So I'm coming over to the chat, focusing on that. Amrit asked, has Luffy gone into Gear 4th and come out normally before, or is this the first time? No, he's done it before. Specifically, when they dismantled all of the ships right before landing on Onigashima. You know, when they Luffy, Law, and Kid did that triple attack. Luffy went into Gear 4th and then came out pretty easily. Now, this is the first time we've seen him go into Snake Man and jump out. But we also saw him go in and out, I think it was 990 when he did the attack with Drake, because the next chapter he was all set there. DJ BJ32, super chat. Thank you, man. Said,
Savage.
Tama for Straw Hat. My man spitting. And Amrit said, yep, first time Luffy has switched on and off Gear 4th. Nope, just answered that one. Galaxy says, okay, I'm 100% putting my money on Momo flying with his eyes open for the first time when Onigashima starts falling and he needs to go hold it up. Yeah, that's the moment where, you know, things are gonna get real for him, and he's gonna go full man right there. Gum Diesel, the fact that Kaido has fought the 1 Red Scabbards, 2 5 Supernovas, 3 Yamato, and is now about to take on a 1v3. Yonko's strength is not just hype. Yeah. Kaido is called the strongest creature for a reason. And we see it. We see it. This man's durability is no joke. So. No.
Savage.
Ryo said, R.I.P. Luffy versus Jack. It seems like it. I'm a little disappointed. But only because it just doesn't... It's not like I'm like, oh, I want it to be right. It's just more of a... can Luffy do this type of thing? Like, I'm not sure. He already fought Kaido and lost. So we need that moment where something clicks for him, and it would, from a writing perspective, I just feel like it would have made more sense to just have Luffy train on someone else and fodderize a commander to show that he's really ready to go up against a Yonko. But, you know, maybe Oda's trying to do that with just the inevitable back and forth of him losing and then getting back up, showing the versatility of rubber, how it always bounces back. So, and obviously, you know, he's trying to set up some other things. This is his story. And he's now really making it clear that Luffy, Momonosuke, and Yamato are the 3 pillars of this arc. So I'm expecting to see like a pretty iconic panel of the 3 of them standing next to each other at some point. Diz of the Ghost we got a dragon versus the three products of dragons.
Savage.
Yeah. Luffy's the product of a dragon. Momonosuke is a dragon. And Yamato is the child of a dragon. That's all on purpose. It's all on purpose. EJ De Jesus said, or Luffy just gets yeeted again, which really could happen. It could be a situation where Luffy gets knocked down, and then he's got to work his way back up again, and then it's Momonosuke and Yamato trying to figure things out while Luffy tries to get back up. I mean, there's plenty of things, and then he's got to. Then Luffy's really in a rush and gets stopped by Jack or something. Chad Elmer. Dragons have been a bad omen for Wano for years because of Kaido. Dragon Momo being seen by everyone and turning the tides of battle changes that for them. Yeah, and I've talked about that, especially, even going as far back as even before all of this stuff with Momo getting aged back up. Just the idea of him holding Onigashima up, but now that he is grown and is the size of Kaido, he's going to be able to reshape that image for Wano. He's going to be able to come in and show them that not all dragons are bad. So, and I think that's, that's a theme that Oda likes to, play around with a lot anyway. Just not all plank are bad. Not all pirates are bad. Not all Vinsmokes are bad. Not all dragons are bad. And that's also why I'm, still gung-ho about Kurozumi Otama. Not all Kurozumi are bad. It's Oda does this, and it's always it always works. My guy, AJ, he said, Jack will get crushed by a cat or a dog or a cat dog. I hope the bunny stays out of it, but with the recent polls, she might get the final blow. You think that Carrot will get the final blow on Jack? Nah. Carrot fans would be eating a whole bushel of carrots if Carrot took out Jack. I can't abide by that. After that, Carrot needs an immediate billion-berry bounty if that were to happen. And Paraspero would need a 2 billion bounty for easily defeating Carrot. Cat dog. Ryo was like, I hope. Oh man. Let's see. Dozer Tank says, hey Randy, any chance you get to talk to some other influencers or YouTubers to try and generate some goodwill for the live action, just to counter some of the negative campaign going on? So there is it seems like a huge negative campaign. There's a very vocal outcry by people that just don't want to see this or whatever, but I am very positive about it. I've always been positive about it because I understand the film industry. I understand the way where technology is right now, and I know that it can happen. As long as the cast is correct and there's chemistry, it's going to work. I think Roger Space is probably the other person in the community that is very vocal about being excited for the live action. Everybody else is pretty tepid. And that's because I would say everybody's been burnt. Death Note, Ghost in the Shell, Dragon Ball Evolution, the list goes on and on and on and on. But nothing has been a television show yet. And if you're not really clued in, it's hard to explain the differences in, a minute of why that means so much. But it's really just going to come down to when Cowboy Bebop comes out. And I think once that comes out, I'll probably do some content on that, just from the lens of what Cowboy Bebop has done and what it'll do to alleviate things. But to anybody that, I was getting a bunch of comments about, this whole stuff. People were going back into Steve Maeda's tweets and Instagram and all that to talk about, the post he made about Kamala Harris and comparing Trump to Charlos and all that. And I think that's all, it was jokes. And he's also not wrong. Not the Luffy and Kamala comparison thing, because that's not what he was doing. So, it's like people are taking that out of context and they're like putting things and saying like, oh, he really compared Luffy to Kamala Harris. And it's like, no, Kamala's middle initial is D. You just put Luffy, Monkey D, Luffy, Kamala D, Harris, Will of D, ... It's not saying Luffy is Kamala. So that's where the internet just sucks. Where, people can just take that, run with it. It gets, 50,000 retweets or whatever, and now everybody's like, man, this is trash. This is going to suck. Let it come out. It's going to be fine. All right. And to anybody that's saying that One Piece is not political, it always has been. It's been political since the Alabasta saga started. All right. Vivi came in and made the show political. Everything, and that's one of the reasons why I like Vivi. It's one of the reasons why I like the series, is that there's politics involved. So that's that. Whew. Emil Diaz, Randy, do you think that an Oni race is real? Yeah, I do. Especially since we have the ancient Oni race, and so then there's just like a non-ancient Oni race, and that's what Kaido's from. But either way, he's an Oni. So I think there was another super chat I need to look at. Keyboard Cat. Kaido might be my favorite villain after this chapter. I feel like he has a lot of trauma dealing with humans. I wonder if he was an innocent child. So I have a video, if you've seen it, where I kind of talk about what I think Kaido's like backstory was and how it relates to rocks and stuff like that. So yeah, I would go and check that out. I don't necessarily believe that he was completely innocent, but I do feel that events and probably things that happened with rocks and like God Valley and all of that certainly changed him and made him what he is today. That's one of the things that I think. Yeah. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Do, 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 do. Smashlore said, agreed, One Piece is very political. The world government is incredibly Orwellian, the revolutionaries, etc. Conrad said, been political since at least Arlong Park, if not Baratier, seeing marine corruption. I mean, if you want to do that, then you might as well just take it all the way to Shellstown with Morgan, I mean, it was political from the beginning, sure. And immediately set up the Marines as like the bad guys and all of that, and like setting up that idea of like, who do we trust? Are the pirates the bad guys? Because obviously we're rooting for Luffy and he wants to be a pirate. But I feel like it's when, shout out to Kunta, but that's when I feel like But I feel like Alabasta is when like the door sort of just like blew open with all of it. Like, here's the reverie. Shout out to Bo Siebert. That's when everything, and not even so much Alabasta, but just that saga, just from Whiskey Peak on, learning about the reverie, that there is this sort of coming together of minds in the world government and all of that, and then, eventually, and then having it blow even more wider and open, at the end of Jaya, when we finally go to Mary Joa and we see all of the, the other warlords and Sengoku and the conversations that are going on and the Gorosei, and it's like this, there's so much going on in the background, and it's like, yeah, Luffy's moving through this world, but everything outside of him is extremely political. And that's what's interesting. DJBJ32 said, "Do you think we get a mini Vegapunk Kaido flashback?" I think when we get the Kaido flashback, elements of Vegapunk experimenting on Kaido will be definitely a part of it, and it could very well come through a conversation here with Momonosuke, based on the fact that the fruit comes from Vegapunk, right? Because if they start getting into like, how are you a dragon? How is this happening? Why is this happening? Then suddenly Kaido could very well have a Vegapunk flashback to all of the torture and understand, so that's where you come from. And I still want Kaido to really sort of lay into Momonosuke. I think it would be a good character thing. And I've talked about it a lot, and some people have taken it out of context in the comments. As I was talking about Momonosuke not earning his fruit, and I was getting a lot of comments like, how do you earn a fruit? And like, Luffy didn't earn his fruit. Nobody earned this fruit. And I'm like saying, and it's like, I was speaking in whatever video that was, I was getting comments, I was coming from the perspective of my own headcanon with the way that Kaido would be looking at Momonosuke and the way I've talked about it before. But sometimes I forget, like, sometimes I need to talk about everything like it's the first time I'm talking about it because there's new people listening. So I think that Kaido is going to look at Momonosuke the way that he has always looked at Momonosuke and say things like, you haven't earned any of this. You didn't earn your name. You didn't earn your age, and you didn't earn my power. Not necessarily, and maybe there's a thing where Kaido, didn't necessarily earn his too, but his key thing is perseverance, right? He respects that you put the work in. Odin put the work in for his strength. Like, he acknowledges him as an equal. He's starting to acknowledge Luffy because Luffy's put the work in. But Momonosuke really has not put the work in. Yeah, we see him training here and there, and I like Momonosuke. I'm not putting him down. But I'm just saying, Momonosuke did not earn his age. He skipped all of this. So if he ends up being magically powerful and all of that, like, Kaido's probably going to have a problem with that. Mickwing Z Nuts said, did CP0 see Dragon Momo? I mean, we didn't. I didn't see a panel where they did, but I mean, it's very possible. And we know that we had that conversation going back to, what was it, 1007, where they were like talking about Momonosuke's fruit and how it was a failure and all of that. And it was just like, okay, well, this is obviously a setup. And, it would actually be pretty interesting. I've never thought about it, but it would be interesting if at the end of all of this, CP0 like tries to kidnap Momonosuke, saying that like he's now the property of the government because he proved that fruit works, and they need to understand why it worked on him when it didn't work in some other cases. That's a possibility. I never thought about that. That could happen. Shout out to my guy Renegade Visions. Said Instead of Luffy defeating a commander to prove how strong he is, I think we'll get that quick flashback over what technique Luffy tried to use before he was knocked off the roof. Oda made a point and Kaido mocking it. Yeah, that's true. Gomu Gomu no, what was it again? That's a unique take on it. That Kaido was mocking a specific technique that we'll need to see. Maybe. I thought he was just being the savage that he is. And just like, I just killed this kid. What was he saying every time he didn't attack? Gomu Gomu, what? So, maybe. I don't necessarily think we need that flashback to see what happened. But, if we get it, we get it. Let's see. Giggles says, to be perfectly honest, all the live action has to achieve is bring new and more people into One Piece. Even if we old school fans don't like it, it should bring in new folk. And that's true. I do have high expectations for it. I do think that it will, is everything going to work? Maybe not. We can all hope that it does. At the end of the day, there were a lot of bad superhero movies before they figured out how to make some good ones. So I think eventually, and it could very well be right now, we could be in the renaissance of live action material where now Cowboy Bebop and One Piece, by being television and not movies, crack the code as to what works.
Savage.
And that'll be the key. And we'll start getting good, interesting, live action adaptations of animes. And then you'll start seeing live action Trigun, live action Hunter x Hunter, live action Outlaw Star. All of this stuff, will just pop up here and there. It'll be the new superhero thing. But it'll be TV, if they're smart. Because you can't compress all of that information. So, and even to this day, we all know 4Kids sucked. Shout out to my guy Jordan Lyle. I'll read that in a second after I make this point. A lot of people hate 4Kids within reason. It was trash. What they did was inexcusable. But it brought fans. It alienated most of, especially the United States, but people still kind of look fondly on it. They eventually found the series and, credit 4Kids for making them wonder, what happened. I don't think that this is going to be anywhere close to that. And I also do not expect all of the changes that people expect to happen. There's not going to randomly be romance in the story. Like Oda is a part of this, guys. That should be enough for everybody. Jordan Lyle said, "Hey Randy, hope you and the fam are well. Just popping in. We'll watch the VOD later. Recently thinking about a connection between Otama and Yamato. Rice Bowl names being reverse. Wondering your thoughts on this connection." So when Yamato was actually revealed in like 983, 984, I had brought up that there was a connection between them because their names, if you write them together, are a palindrome. If you go Otama Yamato, right, it's spelled the same way backwards and forwards, which is kind of crazy. And I think that one way to really hit home with that connection is if Tama ends up being the daughter of Orochi. Because then you have these two characters that are both children of the people that are responsible for Odin's death, and two people that Momonosuke is just gonna have to, learn to forgive. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, thanks for popping in, man. Thanks for catching the VOD later, and appreciate you. East Blue Drew. Yo, Randy, you caught that Matrix trailer? I did. I'm not that impressed. They were laying the through the looking glass references on a little too thick for me. And it seems like it's going to be 40 minutes of, was everything real? Were the first 3 movies real? Whoa. Someone shows up. Yes, they were. Come with me. And then, maybe the movie will get good from there. I don't know. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it on HBO Max. Let's see. Catching up on the chat. Sable said live action Hunter x Hunter would be so sad. I mean, sad as in like the story, or sad as in you think it wouldn't work? Me personally, I think Hunter x Hunter would probably be one of the easiest animes to adapt into live action. Like, even when you get into Nen and all of that. Chimera Ant, the things that get a little wonky there. But even that can work. It would be fun.
Savage.
Bill Papp said Kenshin is probably the best live action. And yeah, I still need to watch it, but I've heard that that it works. And it proves that it works. And I think one of the reasons why it works is because they set it up as though it would be a trilogy, so that they could expand upon it either way. And that's sort of the frame of thinking. You go to a certain point, you pick up, you go to a certain point, you pick up, you go to a certain point. Doing it on television, you can do that as well. Better. Galaxy Vita said, yeah, One Piece should be the first to do that. I still don't get why they make animes that are way easier to make live action first. So I think you're saying, why didn't they go the TV route long ago? It's because TV and film have always been sort of at odds with each other, so there wasn't a lot of faith in TV until probably 10 years ago. Now, all of the top stars and all this stuff, they want to do TV now. So there's just a lot of stuff. Lucy B said that Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Catwoman still giving her PTSD. Yeah. Especially Batman Forever for me. Did you guys see that the... speaking of 4Kids, did you guys see that... I think his name's Sean Conrad, the guy who did the rap for the 4Kids One Piece, did an updated version and included Robin, Frankie, Jinbei, and... and Brooke. It was interesting. It was interesting. Shout out to that guy. I mean, he was just doing a job. But he just did it for fun. Carl Newman said, yeah, then the guy begged for money. What? I didn't see that part. Ozzy Phenom. Does anyone else find it hard to connect to Yamato via I Am Odin? Like, I think they're cool, great design. Fire Devil Fruit. Want them for Straw Hat. I feel like the Odin thing is a little drag. That's my big thing with Yamato is, like, I still feel like their journey is to understand that they don't need to be Odin and that they can be Yamato. You know? I think it's fine to want to be anything you want to be. You know, but to literally be another person, that's the part that doesn't work for me. I'd rather Yamato create their own identity. Shout out to Phased. Said, more fans need to believe in Oda. I can't imagine that he would let his life's work be ruined by this live action. He's going to oversee this as much as he can, especially since he knows what happened with 4 Kids.
Savage.
He's not going to let that happen again. He's... I think that's also why, if you watch the Reverie last year that Matt Owens did, where he said he literally had to, like, audition for Oda. He had to meet with him. He had to write a spec script, I think that's what he said, and Oda had to approve it and understand that they were going the right direction. So, and I mean, like, they've been trying to do this and get it off the ground since 2017. So the fact that it's finally happening in 2021 shows that they've taken all of this time to make sure that this is right. It's the biggest property in the world. They know how big this possibly could be. They're not going to drop the ball here. I'll shout it from the rooftops. Renegade Visions, thank you my guy, said, in Pirate Warriors 4, Luffy defeated Kaido with a move called Dragon Culverin in Snake Man form. Think it'll happen here? I want to go back and rewatch the end of that, because I played the game. I didn't like it as much as Pirate Warriors 3, but the ending was interesting. Obviously, they're making up their own way of how it all ends. But I liked how Momonosuke was involved in that as well. When they were making all of that, Yamato wasn't even really a character yet, so they're not in the game. Maybe, but I don't think that Oda's going to, like, copy the game. I think he's got his own way out of this. Keyboard Cat said Yamato accepting their own identity is a good character arc. That's how I feel. Lucy B said it's like saying I am Cleopatra. Yeah. There's a lot of 4 kids to up cap in the chat right now. Oh man. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to take a look back at the chapter, see if there's anything else that we can draw from things. Shout out to the 400 people in here. Remember to like the stream, hit the red subscribe button, all that YouTube stuff. All right. Chapter 10:25. Shout out to One Tavel. Brandon King says, do you think we'll get a Kid and Killer flashback? Depends on how much Oda really wants to like put into Kid and Killer at this point. I think if we get any sort of a flashback, it might be like a mini one. Because I don't get the impression that Oda's really gonna go the law treatment with Kid anymore. I think there's just too little time in the story for it. But certainly if one of them are going to die in this arc, either of them are going to die, then I would say yes, we'll get a mini flashback. Alright. So, I think the coolest part of the chapter for me was the Kagami-Yama attack. Like, that was one of the most interesting things, and like one of the most weird, like just One Piece things that kind of only makes sense if you're like really clued into the lore and all of this other stuff. And I mean, even then it's still wacky. But Oda is really putting Yamato on a pedestal by doing all of these Amaterasu comparisons. So much so that it's like, it's kind of crazy that they would join the crew, because like it's almost like just having an almost literal god on your crew, and I'm just like, all right, Oda. It's like, all right, you thought having a warlord on the crew was overpowered. Here's a god. So Kaido revealed that they're an Oni. I really loved all this stuff about Momo, like just crashing through every floor of Onigashima. Like that's just pure One Piece right there. It's pure One Piece. Alright. Yeah, I mean, this chapter is pretty straightforward. Where do we go from here? I mean, this was a solid, like, end to volume 101. Like, this was a moment. Kaido and Momonosuke finally meeting dragon to dragon. Yeah. So I feel like this. I feel satisfied with this being like a volume closer chapter. And we're just going to pick up more from here. We're going to flesh out this relationship between Kaido and Momonosuke now. Could get clued in a little bit on the experiments that happened to Kaido, where the fruit is coming in. We could get CP0 next chapter talking about this. Yeah. We could get CP0 like sort of looking at the cracks, and like you could see that they did see Momo, and then like maybe that clues in that like they're interested in Momonosuke now. Yeah. I'm just here for the journey at this point. But either way, this fight is still not going to conclude until all of the other fights have concluded. So.
Savage.
Probably get a little bit of this. Go back downstairs for some other stuff. Ryo said, honestly surprised Act 3 didn't end this chapter. And I don't really see it ending next chapter or in 1032 either. I think Wano is just 3 acts. And it's very possible that it could be. At this point, I'm literally not going to say that the act is going to end again unless we get a full Kaido flashback. Because that's the only way that everything's going to work structure-wise. I respect Oda's ability as a writer. I respect Oda's understanding of structure. So he is going to go. Act 3 was prologue, flashback, the meat of the arc, and then I think it's going to go flashback, epilogue, end of arc. End of act, maybe end of arc. I don't know. But, Emil Diaz said, was Marco smoking a Zoropack off screen? I mean, that man is very happy when everybody else is, like, very shocked. He's just living life. He's just like, I'm just here. I'm just here. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just here. Let's see. AJ1218 said, Randy, having a god in the crew. ... Okay, Oda. Usopp faithful. Never have we heard such blasphemy. God Usopp be praised. How could I forget? We already have a god in the crew. Well, then I think that deconfirms Yamato for Nakama. We can't have 2 gods in the crew. Galaxy said, Randy, you said you were going to make your own Blackbeard theory, or at least take on a theory. When will that be? So I already shot that like 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. I just have to edit it. But since I was away, it hasn't happened. It'll probably be the next video that'll come out. Basically just talking about all of the Blackbeard theories that have come out and like where I think Blackbeard's going to go in the story. While also talking about one key element and through line in every scene that we see with Blackbeard and how that ties into the larger bit of One Piece. So look out for that whenever I'm done editing, and I have barely started with it, so it'll be a little bit. If I get some time this week, maybe next week. Or maybe not. Maybe like 2 weeks from now. And go, Mark, why should Vivi be the 11th Straw Hat? She's already the 6th. My man. Max says I gotta take off. Randy, thanks for the stream today. Appreciate you, my man. DJ PJ32, my eyes, Momo. Chicago's, they do nothing. Shout out to the Simpsons fans. Justin O'Malley, should Yamato protect Wano to surpass Odin? So I've seen this come up a lot, right? Is that Odin failed Wano by leaving, by knowing that it was in disarray and then choosing adventure. So should, in theory, Yamato then stay to protect Wano to be better than Odin and do what Odin chose not to do instead of going on an adventure? The thing with that is that by the time Yamato has to make that philosophical choice, Wano will not be in disarray and will be a saved country. So then the question becomes, should I protect Wano from future threats or trust that that Wano will be safe from now on? And that'll come from either, maybe Denjiro staying to protect it, or Luffy just putting a giant Straw Hat flag in Wano and saying, hey, if you come and mess with Wano, you're going to have to take me on now. So I think for Yamato, it's two options. They either leave Wano and go on the grand adventure that they want to do because they've never been out to sea and they want to see things. And then, we basically get a rehash of the Carrot dynamic, where Carrot was like, I've never been out to sea. Oh, look at all this stuff. But now it's from Yamato's perspective. Oh, what is this? What is this? Look at all this stuff. Or Oda pulls the rug from underneath all of us and kills Yamato, which I don't see as likely, but more likely than Yamato staying behind and protecting Wano. But I don't know. The Viva cards basically confirmed, almost that, Hitetsu can actually be Sukiyaki because the ages match up. They were like, oh, originally he's 50-something years old. Then it was like, oh, that was a typo. He's actually 81. It's like, yeah. So, all right, we get it. Sukiyaki can rule Wano. Momonosuke doesn't have to do it. Yamato doesn't have to do it. And that's just that. Let's see. Diz of the Ghost. What are we doing for next week's break stream? That's a great question. So, gonna have to think about that. Could finally do that quiz that was put together by Evo and Conrad, and I think Galaxy helped with that. 200 people can participate. I was told it was 50 questions, which is kind of a lot. Maybe if it was 25, that'd be a little more manageable. I'm trying to find a program or a site or something, because I want to give back to the community and everything, and I want to like do like a giveaway, or either, you know, give away like, you know, some figures, or maybe like something in the shop, you know, and just send it to somebody. I'm looking at like Gleam and things like that, so I want to do something like that, but I'm trying to find the right tool to do it, because some of the stuff is just really complicated. I just want like some sort of random number generator. So I need to look more into that kind of stuff. If anybody has break week stream ideas, you know, leave them in the chats. Let's see. Renegade Visions. Could Yamato and Kaido mirror the red and blue Oni lore? I'm gonna have to look into that. Red and blue Oni. Ozzy Phenom said, God, I love this community. Later Savages, gotta go to work. Later Randy, I'm gonna finish the stream and the vid. Fire Chapter. 3 supers. Appreciate you. Kuma on the Moon. Did Kaido get any significant damage yet? I mean, it doesn't seem like it. I'd say the most significant thing that's happened is like the scar that Zoro left. Because that's the only thing that he was like, yeah, okay, well, this is going to stay with me. So. Void Worshipper, Randy, you see that pic of Momo looking like Whitebeard? Yeah. Yeah, someone put it in the Discord. David said, wouldn't Vivi be kind of pissed to see Robin in the crew? No. We already got Vivi's reaction to Robin being in the crew after Ennie's lobby. And she was just like, Luffy's a grown man. He can make his own choices. If she's there, it's for a reason. Loggy Doggy said, live action live stream with another creator. What could be said that hasn't already been said, though? You know? Like, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Because it really, at this point, if it's to try and change the conversation to something more positive, everybody's already made their decision. Now it's at the point where people need to see something, and then when that comes out, then it's either going to be a, you know, they're either going to feel vindicated, or it's going to be a Heath Ledger as Joker situation, or, you know, and they're just going to have to take the L, you know. Most of the people that follow the channel are, according to the analytics, you know, are around my age. But we do have some younger people. So when Heath Ledger was cast as the Joker, the internet, still semi brand new and all of this, were very upset. Said that he couldn't do it. Now he's hailed as the greatest Joker of all time. Copyright. Hi, Randy. How will Kaido be defeated? Does the Alliance just beat him down brute force? Do they wear down out his stamina? Do they find a way to stab him? Or do we need a smarter way to defeat him? I mean, that's why I was so gung-ho about, like, TTK. Because I was like, I don't know how we beat this guy. If... I mean, I think it's got to be like a group effort with Luffy landing the final blow. It has to be in front of all of the citizens so that they can see him go down. Like the actual schematics of like what they need to do, I don't know. But, you know, there's a lot of things at play with the number 9. And I think that there's going to have to be 9 people that have to, you know, work together to take him down. So I think that the fight is going to move away from the rooftop and like go to the live floor at some point. Brandon King said do a waifu tier list. I have no interest in that. Giovanni Velez said break down mythology in One Piece. You know, we could do that, but that's almost. I'd rather do that in its own video, so that I can like put pictures and stuff maybe, because I can talk about stuff, but like. I don't know. It's better as like a long VOD or something. Amrit said, "Hey Randy, which character's drip do you dig the most in One Piece?" I mean, gotta give it to Sanji. Sanji's the drippiest in One Piece. I mean, like best outfit. It's probably the Water 7 Sea Train outfit, the pinstripe. Love that. Like that's a classic. But, you know, there's been plenty of other drippy characters in the series. You know, shout out to my man Sarkis. My man had the whole full fur fit. He had the gloves to match his pants. He was, This dude right here, one of the drippiest dudes in all of One Piece. R.I.P. Sarkis. He died on the way to Skypiea. Chin said, have you watched the Cowboy Bebop anime before, Randy? Yeah, I have, and I plan on rewatching it before the series comes out. Jet Meteor said thoughts on the live action Bebop and the actors. I'm very excited for it. I think they picked an excellent cast, and I think it's going to turn out great. A lot of numbers are thrown around about my my age. Only one person got it right. Bro. W's in the chat for my man. Gotta have it.
Racks, I gotta have it. Beat my fabric. Do you see this jacket? Do you see it? Pay my taxes. Trust me, you can track it.
I mean, that's what that whole song is about. Lavish Bracket. It's about drip. Do you see this jacket? My man said, speaking of drip, are there any trademark hurdles preventing a conviction Jolly Roger T? So you mean in like in the store? I mean, there's trademark hurdles by making like anything that's like too directly, you know, like I can't just pull an image of Luffy off of the internet and like put it on a tee or something. But are you talking about like the logos that I have? Because I mean, I still plan on updating the store a little bit, and I'm going to make a shirt that just says Conviction on it, but I want to maybe put a little bit of a design with it, because that's my next thing. Because I want a shirt that says Conviction on it. You know, because we fly that at the beginning of every video. That's my company's name. So Conviction Studios. So yeah. But there is, as far as like the design that my guy Dan DiCarlo made, that's in the store right now. It's only a next level tee, but I could add some other stuff. And let me know like specifically what you were thinking about, my man. Lucy B said, I remember people saying you picked Beetlejuice to play Batman. Yeah. Not only were they saying you picked Beetlejuice to play Batman, they were saying you picked Mr. Mom to play Batman. Mr. Mom? Batman? Slumptress said, Randy already has a waifu, dog. Yeah, Chrissy's at the top of my waifu tier list. Rao says, post time skip, Lucci has the best drip. Keep our cats at all admirals full drip. I think we need to do a drip tier list. Certified drip tier list. Ranking the drippiest characters in One Piece. See, now that would be fun because it's funny, right? And it's not, you know, it's not actually like, you know, there's no power scaling involved. It's just like, who's got the drip? Let's see. Did my guy Ty answer me? Trying to find if he said anything else. AJ1218 is correct. My IMDb has my birthday on it. Safama said, Randy looks 18, talks 25, memes like he's 16. Savage. Looks like people want the drip tier list. That might be fun. That might be funny. Loggy Doggy, would the drip scaling voice be really deep because the power scaling one is high? I mean, this is the drip scaling voice.
Certified drip.
Oh, you know, Senor Pink is gonna be on the drip tier list. Now I gotta find pictures of all the drippiest characters and plug them into that thing. Yeah, we can do this. Yeah, I think that's next week, guys. I think next week is the certified drip tier list. Okay. There's Ty. He said, "My bad, Captain. I just meant a T of the conviction flag logo you use at the beginning of your videos." So what I'm planning to do for the conviction shirt, which is I think going to be the next shirt that I put in the shop, is there's no trademark with that, because the person who made that flag, I have permission to use that that whole thing and all of that. But at the same time, since it's a moving image, I can't necessarily put that on a shirt. I've tried to cut it out and use it for some things, but I don't think that it's gonna look that great on a shirt. So what I think I'm gonna do is sort of the way that I have, Savage here. I'm gonna have conviction written. But what I want to do is probably do something where because the reason why I love the word conviction, why it's my favorite word, is because of Dr. Hero-Look. And just the speech that he gives Chopper, that was just something that really resonated to me when I was first getting into the series. And then when Luffy reiterates it again, and at the end, toward the end of Drum, when he saves Hero-Look's flag, and he's like, "This is a symbol of conviction. This is something you stake your life on." And I just love that moment. It just resonates with me so much. So I love that word so much that that's what I operate with. So whatever I do, and it's just, it also, I feel like that word ties a lot into Vivi's goodbye as well. So, maybe if I just make a design that's conviction, but then sort of has an X on it, or some sort of design in the background that I can figure out, maybe. Or maybe just straight conviction. I don't know. Or, I could do something where I have the Jolly Roger that was made for me by my guy Dan, and then put conviction underneath that. There's a couple of ways to do it, but I also I like the simplicity, similar to the way that the Savage is right here. Conviction, but instead of gold, white or silver. Shout out to Kuma on the Moon. Join the channel. My guy paw-pawed himself all the way to the moon. Giovanni Velez said, technically treble is the drip. I would call that uncertified. And shout out to Mr. Nimbus for the super sticker. Thank you. Renegade Vision said, God tier drip is the whole crew in Strong World. At the end, yeah. Sanji had the worst drip he's ever had at the beginning of that. I did not like Cowboy Sanji. A cowboy hat and the shorts that did not do it for me. I did like Robin's striped sweater though. That was pretty drippy. I like that. Perry Motivated said, drip tier list is the best. Let's do it. All right. Can't keep talking about the drip, guys. We got to save it for the drip tier list now. I've never done a tier list on the, not officially. I'm going to have to figure out, how to organize the stream and get the screen up on there. Shout out to Sam Vlogs. And we're going to do this. Let's see. Khalifa is wet. Is that drip? I mean, yeah. Yes. Oh, man. Oh, my guy, Eric Telford, said pulling in to say what's up before I have to hop on a call. He said he'd be down to see that tier list, though. The drip tier list? Yeah. I'm just letting you know right now. Heads up, guys. All right. Sarkis is S tier drip. Okay? This is S, maybe SS. All right? Depending on how I organize it. Whatever the top of the drip is, Sarkis is up there. Okay? Spoilers. But thanks for dropping by, man. So, Charles said, what are your predictions for 1026? I mean, we're gonna follow this through line a little bit. We're gonna get a little bit of context for Kaido and Momonosuke. That would make sense to me. And then because of pacing, if this is the final fight, which I'm iffy on, we still need to finish all of the other fights. So we could get a whole chapter kind of contextualizing all of this stuff, and then after that not come back to it for a while, or we could get half a chapter of contextualization and then cut back to some other things that need to finish before we can get a significant way into the story happening up top. So that's kind of how I feel. Giovanni Villas said, did Mars like the beach? He liked the boat ride that we went on. But the water was a little too cold at the beach. That's, but that's what we get, that's what we get for finally going to the beach in September. But, next year we'll do it right, when hopefully there isn't as much pandemic stuff going on. Kuma on the Moon says, is a combo fight Zoro and Sanji versus King and Queen still possible? It would be interesting. Yeah. I fully expect them to be trading their opponents, just because the live floor is way too chaotic, and I want updates on Drake and Apu and all of this, and we have to finish Inuarashi versus Jack, Neko versus Paraspero, Raizo versus Fukurokuju, Killer versus Hawkins, Law and Kid versus Big Mom, all before Kaido can be defeated. So, there's all that. He's a pirate. Of course he liked the ship. It was going to be a pandemic. Didn't notice. Yeah. Giovanni you did Florida vacation. Yeah, we're probably going to do that later. So, I have family in Florida, so I tend to go there now and again. Let's see. So, Yogita said, I don't see Big Mom losing. Neither do I. If she does lose, she's not done. I still feel like Big Mom is a threat that everybody is sleeping on. And that she's going to do something very devastating in this arc. Evil Warrior said, did you see the break stream idea I posted in Discord about live reactions to Boichi's Ace chapters? I did, briefly. I didn't get a chance to respond yet. So I read the first one of them. Is there like a time when it's going to end? Because I'd rather just like power through all of them if I was going to do something like that. And but the art style was kind of throwing me off, you know, because it's like we're reading One Piece. We know how One Piece is supposed to look. I'm so used to seeing the characters drawn by Oda that when I see it drawn in like that very, you know, just masculine style, I'm kind of like I'm kind of like thrown back a little bit. It's hard for me to separate it. I'm trying to like, you know, get through it. But then at the same time, it's like how much of it is supposed to be canon? How much of it is like really supposed to factor in? But, you know, maybe it's just fun. I could do something. Maybe on like an off day or something. I don't know, one day or something. I could just do a thing where I'm reading those chapters. It could be fun. Still have only read the first one. The first one, I mean, it was decent. You know, it added some context on who Mass Deuce is. But that's about it. Ah, Chrissy's in the chat. She said, hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Yeah. Amrit said, Big Mom is going to leave with some people's soul, as I think that might be her awakening, taking away souls without the person's wish. I've been talking about how the souls are like a key thing. I think she's going to definitely steal somebody's soul. If it's not Luffy's while he's unconscious, because I think that that's a way to get around that whole thing about stealing souls, then it could be Usopp's. You know, something devastating. Something that's like, oh man, we have to go and get that back now. Rao said, Boichi's so damn talented. I love his take on it. All right, cool. Yeah, so we can do that one day. We can do that. Seems like there's enough people that want to see something like that. Yep. Whew. All right, let's see. How we doing here? All right, so we're at an hour and 45. You know, I like to go to about 2 hours, so, you know, we'll go for like another 15 minutes here, figure out what other things to talk about, other questions to talk about. Let's see, Lucy B said, did you read the VV special by Naoshi Komi? I have not yet. I did see panels from it. I did see pages from it. I've just been really busy lately. I do want to check that out. I think that would be fun, but, you know, that's sort of like just there was nothing new in that, right? I mean, it was just like a redraw of the chapter, right? Kuma on the Moon videos with another creator soon. I mean, we could. Collabs are fun. I like them, you know, obviously, like, you know, I'm down to talk about One Piece. Just feels like still so close to the reverie that it's like, I feel like I've heard most people's theories and takes on things. Rao said time for early spoilers. I gave them a little bit earlier. I think it's going to be just more of Kaido and Momo talking about, you know, why he's got his fruit, how he got his fruit, you know, why he's a dragon, etc. Maybe half a chapter of that, or it could be a whole chapter. But if we get a whole chapter, then we're not going to see that for a while. Then we move somewhere else, and then we stay somewhere else for a bit before we go back, and, you know, because it's now there's a pacing issue because everything else has to finish before that finishes. Hummer, it's a merch idea. Drip Drip No Me with an orange colored fruit with pinstripes on it. I mean, that's kind of funny. Like if it was just said Drip Drip No Me on a shirt. Novum said, I thought this chapter was really funny, just seeing Momo and Luffy flying through the floors. Yep. Good stuff overall, and I'm glad they're getting right into Kaido and Momo meeting face to face. It's a long time coming. It's a long time coming, and I want to see what that conversation's going to be, so I'm hoping we get that conversation in 1026. So... Death Adder said, I think Oda forgot Denjiro. No, he's just waiting to use him for something very specific. You know, he's going to tie into the storeroom silhouette, or he's going to be used to bring Sasaki onto our side. Which was interesting because I was reading some more Japanese mythology and found something about Sasaki being a like a world tree or something. I need to read more about it, but I just like immediately thought of like how interesting it was that Sasaki was the one that was like tied to the tree, so it was obvious that Oda was trying to put that all together. Let's see. Dan asks, what's my favorite GameCube One Piece game? So I had all of the One Piece GameCube games when they came out, and I had a freeloader, and I would move through them. My favorite one was this treasure one. forget. I actually have it. It's like it's in my living room. It was basically kind of like Bounty Rush. If anybody plays Bounty Rush, and to the people that play Bounty Rush in the chat, it was kind of like that. It was almost like One Piece Mario Party, but then there was like game modes that were very much like Bounty Rush, and you would take a treasure from one side of the screen to the other, and you had to fight each other to get the treasure into the middle or onto the end in someone else's space. And they had a lot of interesting characters. So I used to play as Buggy, and I used to play as Vivi and Sanji. It came out pretty much, I want to say, like right after Alabasta. There was like not really any Skypiea characters in there. Grand Battle 3 was really cool. I liked the Jaya stage that it had. I liked playing as Wiper. And it had, you know, this thing where Bellamy would come in and like you had to avoid him because he would start bouncing around. And then Grand Battle Rush was a lot of fun also. That came out right after Long Ring Longland, and the secret character was Aokiji. But playing as Foxy was ridiculous. So that was fun. But one of my favorite games really was just Grand Battle 2. I used to love playing as, funny enough, just like Mr. 3 and Wapple were like a lot of fun to play as. And, you know, looking back, it was very interesting because you just don't see them as playable in many games these days. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, thank you for the super chat. It says message retracted. I'm sorry, I didn't see what you said. Whoop. They're coming for me as always.
Savage.
Oh, there we go. It said, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang said, any thoughts, or Chitty Bang squared, any thoughts on a third party still joining this war, like the Grand Fleet or the Revolutionaries? I don't think that the Grand Fleet is going to play a role in this. I think that the Grand Fleet is going to, whatever the warning that we got at the end of Dressrosa, I think is for something completely unrelated to Wano and maybe even the Straw Hats. Similar, because one of the only other times that we got a narration note like that was after the duel at Bonaro Island, and said that this, fight was going to shake the world and all of that, and change, the course of history. And that's kind of what we got at the end of Dressrosa. So I think that, like the duel on Bonaro Island, everything with the Grand Fleet is actually going to happen outside of the main story and then tie in later. The Revolutionary Army does have a tie to Wano, though. And I think that if they're not already on Wano, they should come. They really should. Blackbeard could show up. I think if I had to rank the possibility, or like the things that would add to the story, Revolutionaries showing up, Marines, Blackbeard, Revolutionaries, Blackbeard, Marines, Grand Fleet. Lucy B said Denjiro probably would Hiyori. Yeah, if it's not Toki, then yeah, definitely. And I'm sort of team Hiyori now. I was team Toki when it happened, but now there's just way too much going on. And Toki would just get really ridiculous. Jen says, "What? Randy plays One Piece games?" Yeah. I've probably played every One Piece game. Well, I shouldn't say that, because there's a lot of like Japan only ones and like weird ones. I didn't play the ones that like came out in like the late 90s and all of that. Like those card games that were on like the Game Boy and stuff. But I did play a couple of the Game Boy games, and I did have a lot of like ROMs and ports for a lot of the older ones, and I even played One Piece Going Baseball. You know, it was like, what was it, like 2005, 2004, something like that. But I still play Bounty Rush. It's a fun game. Chin said, is Sword coming? Sword's already there. You got Drake and Law. Yeah. J650, I'm waiting for the big surprise or twist. Something that we're not going to expect will happen. I'm here for it. That's what I want. I always want Oda to surprise me. I do not want to guess things. I do not want to know things. That's why I love One Piece too. It's like, even though I can get things right a lot of the time, Oda still surprises me, and that's what makes things so much fun for me, because, you know, it bothers me when I go to a movie or I'm watching a TV show and I'm 5 minutes into it and I know how it's going to end, because I just see all the clues that are getting set up. Chrissy knows what I'm talking about, because I do it all the time. I'm just like, oh, that's the bad guy. Oh, that's the one that's gonna turn on that person. Yep. And then sure enough, she's like, they set it up. So I really I respect Oda for being able to do that. Treasure Cruise I used to play a lot. I played it probably for 5 years. Regularly. Like every day, logged in, did the raids. And then it was like, by the time I got to like all the treasure maps and all this other stuff, I was just like, okay, I am using too much of my life in this. So I gave it up. And I was like really just collecting in the game. And then, but once I like got back into collecting figures and everything, Treasure Cruise seemed like a waste. Because I was like, oh, well, now I have something tangible and not just sitting in my phone. For the Mighty Donut and Chainsaw, what happened to Vivi, Boa, and Sabo? Vivi's on her way back to the crew with either the Revolutionary Army or Sai and Leo, because they all have Viva cards to Luffy. Sabo is either on his way to Wano or has been captured. Boa has definitely been captured and will be returned to the Celestial Dragons, as she is considered their property. So, especially now that she does not have the protection of the world government to protect her. So, Void Worshipper, did you see the new Suicide Squad? Loved it. Amazing. Chrissy's like, yeah, he spoils movies for me all the time. And I don't even do it on purpose. I'm just like, you know, like, it's just something like clicks as I'm watching, and I'm just like, oh, this is about to happen. It's not like I know ahead of time. It's not like I'm reading spoilers or anything. I'm just like, like, it bothers me. Let's see. Brandon King, did you play Unlimited World Red? Yeah, I played it on the Switch during the height of the pandemic. they had it on sale, and I was like, oh. So I went through that. It was fun. It was fun. It was sort of like a quick play. I think I finished it in like a day or two. Vern, my guy. Hey. He said, hey Randy, just started the stream. See you when I catch up.
Savage.
Love to hear your thoughts on the spread, with all the Yonko being next to people they have a connection to, and Shanks being near the Marines. That's interesting. Let's see. Yeah, I'll get into that. I'll go back to the spread and I'll start looking at that. My guy Eric said, I do still enjoy the fact that in the first Suicide Squad movie, their answer to a Superman-level threat was build a team where one of their members' superpowers is ropes. See, but the problem with the first Suicide Squad movie, and what made this one work, even though the end like gets a little wonky and still worked, is that the point of the Suicide Squad is to not go against a Superman level threat, or not go against anything that's like really super powered or anything. So the Enchantress didn't work. You need the Suicide Squad to do a like covert mission, because the whole point of anything in the Suicide Squad comics and all of that is they're gonna go do Amanda Waller's dirty work. So they're gonna go and like they're gonna go to Corto Maltese or something, and they're going to infiltrate somewhere, and they're going to get a USB drive, and then they're going to come back, right? And they may fight some people along the way, but they're not going to go up against Darkseid, and they're not going to go up against this, and they're not going to do that. So having them fight the Enchantress and all of that was just so mismatched, and they rushed that movie into production, so that just sucked. But this one, they did it right. They did all of that, but then at the end, the Starro stuff was sort of like a meme, almost. Like almost like and it was a tongue-in-cheek nod, and only really James Gunn would have been the way to like actually pull that together. Yeah. I thought about doing a whole movie on Suicide Squad when it came out, just my thoughts and reactions, but I just didn't find the time to record it. But I did love the movie a lot. So back to Vern's super chat here. We're gonna look at the color spread. So if we look at where Kaido is next to Odin, Hiyori, and Yamato. So yeah, there's connections all around there. Big Mom is next to Katakuri and Odin. There's no connection between Big Mom and Odin, but I think the Odin is really in respect to Kaido. But Katakuri being next to Big Mom makes sense. And you could include Pudding with that. Pudding's pretty close there as well. Corazon is next to Law, which makes sense. And there's sort of this triangle happening here on the spread, if you're looking at the spread with me, where you have Doflamingo, Corazon, and Law, and he's tying that together. Moria, Kuma, and Perona are next to each other to sort of create a little bit of a trifecta there, a little triangle there, from just an art standpoint. Obviously Oda's like putting thoughts in between the groupings, but there are still some random outliers, like where Kiku and Reiju are. But you have to balance everything out. The Straw Hats create this really great triangle with Robin at the top, or really Roger at the top. I just noticed, I think it's funny that Frankie and Bon Clay are on opposite sides of each other. Obviously, they're both voiced by Kazuki Yao. So that's what makes that funny. Vivi is on the same line as the Going Merry. And then I didn't notice it at first, but it was pointed out to me that Whoop Slap is on top of the Going Merry. I found that out later. Oh boy. Find it interesting how prominent Rouge is on the list, especially considering that he wasn't in the top 50. But I think that that's Oda's saying that, he's going to become important. We have Bonnie there. Bonnie's great. There's basically this whole, like, supernova area here, where we have Killer, Kid, Capone, Hawkins, Bonnie, Rouge, Apu, and Drake sort of having almost their own triangle going up. I just noticed that Frankie and Kid are fighting in the spread, and I'm loving it. Shirahoshi, I believe, was also not in the top 50, but Oda is signifying their importance by putting them there as well. Smoker and Tashigi, obviously they're together. Blackbeard and Ace are next to each other. Carrot is on top of Blackbeard. Could that be foreshadowing that Blackbeard kills Carrot? Because he is responsible for the death of Ace. You heard it here first. Oh man, I don't know. But then you have Shanks, and Shanks is next to Kobe and Garp. And it also seems like there's some magma, like that Shanks is sort of hidden inside magma, so I think that that's sort of Oda's way of alluding to Akainu there without putting Akainu on the spread. But then could that also link and hint to some sort of connection between Akainu and Shanks? I'm just spitballing looking at this. As far as the admirals go, it really seems like only Kuzan is here. I didn't see Akainu, Kizaru, or even Fujitora. Marco's next to Whitebeard, of course. And Rayleigh, so we just sort of have some legends going on right there. Buggy's also next to Blackbeard. I don't know if I like that. Renegade Vision said, did you notice the Pokemon Meltan on Kid's arm? In the spread? I'm looking now. I'm not seeing it. Someone might have to point that out to me in the Discord. Then I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing something that like could be it, like toward the bottom of his arm, but I'm not really noticing it. Overall, I love this spread. It is missing Momo and Tama. And with the inclusion of Shirahoshi also being outside of the top 50, if Momonosuke is supposed to be an ancient weapon, then it would make sense for Momo to have been included, like sort of off to the side. But he probably didn't include Momonosuke because he didn't want to spoil what he looks like now. So maybe that was the line of thinking. It really looks like Sanji is fighting Doflamingo and Crocodile at the same time. Shout out to my man. Or Doflamingo and Crocodile are just having their own private fight and Sanji's doing his own thing, but the spread's great. It's really great. Yeah. So catching up on the chat, and then I think we're gonna wrap things up here, guys. Bend to Gear. Hey, what's up, Randy? Just stop and say what's up before work. Appreciate you, my guy. What are my thoughts on the new Spider-Man trailer? Excited about it. Interesting. Evo said, Randy, have you noticed how in this, in everybody's raid drip, Sanji and Zoro's color schemes are each one of the colors of Luffy's drip? Well, I mean, Sanji's wine color is sort of a different color than Luffy's red. But, you know, obviously the black cloak is definitely reminiscent of Zoro's garb there. But I think the greater thing to say is that everybody's Onigashima drip is actually sort of has some element of the red family in it. That's something that Chrissy and I have noticed. You know, we like picked up on it, like even just watching the opening. You know, and you see everybody come through. Everybody's got some sort of red going on. Nami has the red. Chopper has the red. Luffy's got the red. Sanji's all in red. Zoro's got a red sash. Usopp's got the red hat and the red thing. Brook has like this sort of half and half thing going on where he has a little bit of a red there. Even Jinbei's triangles have a little bit of red in them or something like that. Robin's got a red sash. Frankie looks like a red lantern. And then, you know, shout out to Vivi as well, who also has a red cape, because you know Vivi's a Straw Hat. And Vivi is repping her Onigashima drip as well. Which Yamato, for Nakama people, Yamato has a lot of red in their outfit. Let's see. Looking at Carrot, no red. Carrot's outfit is the green and yellow from her first introduction. I don't know. For the Mighty Donut and Chainsaw said, still think Grand Line should have done a character that needs more shine and whoop slap. Yeah, I mean, he could have said, everybody vote for Gin, and then we could have had Gin hanging on the Mary. That would have been way better. Okay. Alright. Getting up Mary's so weird. Alright, guys. This was a fun one. I think I'm gonna start wrapping things up here. DJ Rick comments that Captain Randy's mantra is conviction. You know it. I am going to try and collect images of the drippiest characters in One Piece. If anybody wants to help with that and put the images in the Discord and all of that of what you think is, you know, should be in the tier list that I make, you know, put those images in the Discord. You know, make things a little easier for me. If you think like, oh, this is a character that had a lot of drip and all that, and I want to see Randy's reaction. Like, definitely, like, drop the image in the Discord. That's what we'll do next week. I think that'll be a funny stream, and that's gonna be fun. So we finally got it, guys. We got Momo and Dragon Momo and Dragon Kaido facing each other off. Love Luffy standing on top of Momonosuke. It's epic. It's epic. We are living the epic of One Piece in real time. I couldn't be happier. I appreciate everybody that came through. Ryo said, "Are we counting non-canon drip?" So if you mean like movies and stuff like that, yeah, we can count movie drip. Yeah, we can count movie drip. Because even movie drip gets merchandise. So, you know, there we go. Do games count? I guess if it's drippy. It's got to be certified. Or really uncertified, so that, you know, we have some things that can just go in the uncertified category. This is going to be a fun one. I don't think anybody's ever done this. What do I think about the Oni race? I think that that's probably why Kaido feels a strong connection to Wano, because the ancient Oni race is probably responsible for putting Wano together. So he's sort of trying to reclaim the land of his homeland, the homeland of his ancestors, probably. So, all right, everybody. Thanks again. Thanks for everybody for hanging out. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. This was a fun one. And I'll catch you guys next week. Analysis, it'll probably be out on Sunday. And yeah. And then the next video that'll be out will be the Blackbeard one. You know, when I can get that edited. Oh yeah, German 66, they're pretty drippy, Barry. This is gonna be like a tier list with every character in the whole series. Yeah. All right. And shout out once again to the Flex God Ty. My man.
Savage.